ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजाः पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। Our hero Hanumanji is in Lanka, right in front of Ravana, in the courtroom, where Ravana is surrounded by all of his powerful, intelligent, wise, experienced ministers, and all of the other Rakshasas who had bound Hanuman by ropes, which nullified the effect of the Brahmastra. And Hanuman is looking up at Ravana and completely amazed at his beauty, his decoration, the way he has dressed himself up, the kind of crystal throne he's sitting on. Everything about him is fantastic, except he has lost one thing. He's lost his path from dharma. So while Hanuman is awed by Ravana's presence, Hanuman also looks at him with pity. That such great facility, such great capacity is wasted. Now, we're in chapter 50, where Ravana is examining Hanumanji and he's going to interrogate him. It's a short chapter because next chapter is a fairly long one where Hanumanji answers him back, and we need to go a little bit more in detail. So I don't think I can combine that with this. But let's see what Ravana does now that he's examining Hanumanji. So this is chapter 50, if you'd like to follow along in Sundara Kanda. So Sundara Kanda has 68 chapters by Hanumanji's grace, Sita Ramachandra and Lakshmana's grace. We are in chapter 50. Now, we know in the Ramayana, any verse beginning with ta, it means it is of importance. There is a very pregnant meaning hidden. One should pause, consider it carefully, and learn from it. So the verse begins with Tam udiksha mahabahu pingaksha puratasthetam kopena mahata avishto ravano lokaravanaha shankahritatma dadhyo Sa Kapindra Tejasavratam Tam Udviksha Mahabahu. Udviksha means looking down upon. Udviksha actually means looking up, but here looking down means condescending. Udviksha Mahabahu Pingaksha Puratastitam. Hanuman, who has yellowish eyes, is standing in front of Ravana, and Ravana is looking at him. And inside, Ravana is very angry. Kopena Mahata. With great anger. The great anger is, how is it possible? How dare he break all the barriers that I have put up, such that the demigods, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, Yamaraj, and forget about any of the Gandharvas and any of the other members of the universe, cannot enter Lanka. It is formidable. Such Lanka, a tiny monkey, Vanara, has no, I mean, such an ordinary being has been able to break through and come in here and has the arrogance to stand in front of me. That's his Mahakopa. Mahata Kopa Avishta. Uh, Avishta is that he has become overtaken by this anger. Because Ravana's senses are not controlled, anger can control him. Ravano Loka Ravana. Ravayati iti Ravana. He is the one who makes the world cry. Therefore, he got the name Ravana. Because whoever he met, they cried. The demigods cried in fear. The women cried out of being helpless when he was torturing and raping and molesting them. Yet, this Ravana, Shanka Hritatma, there was some doubt about Hanuman. And Dadhyav, after thinking carefully, he's completely taken by surprise that this yellow-eyed monkey is brilliant. Tejasavritam. And he says Kapindra, the leader among monkeys, who's effulgent, is standing in front of him and not scared at all. So the doubt in him is, I am Loka Ravana. I put fear in everybody that I meet. How come he's not? He is not because he is the servant of Sri Ramachandra who has come to give Ravana a message. So the spiritual master has the ability, expertise, skill, intelligence, wisdom, spiritual power, etc., to break through the barriers our mind places against any kind of spirituality or to hear about the Supreme Lord. Because the mind is fully absorbed in enjoying through the senses, materialistically motivated. And therefore, if anyone wants to give spiritual advice, they are kept away. Because the mind likes to give orders. The mind does not like to take orders at all. And the spiritual master who enters or comes across or intervenes in the life of a person, they instruct. And the mind completely rejects it or defends against it or comes up with excuses because nobody can instruct the mind. Nobody dare instruct the mind. The mind dictates everything. The senses are running constantly to fulfill the order of the mind. The mind decides pleasure and displeasure. The mind decides what is favorable and unfavorable. And all of it decides upon the basis of what it likes. Has no consideration for the welfare of the soul. And yet there is fearless spiritual master who comes and tells the mind, you're a rascal. You need to be tamed. You need to be cultured. You need to be refined to be able to see Krishna, Sri Ramachandra face to face. For which, within this enjoyment tendency, you have to start cultivating the idea that you're a servant. You're not a master. You're a servant. And such instruction the mind doesn't like. So, Kopena Mahata. It's very angry. It gets angry when its desires are curbed. Krishna says, Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Vijayate. Somewhere or the other, this may be our own story. I can remember my own life, where when the first time someone as a representative of Krishna, although I don't believe that was the best way, but still, when they said something that I was not willing to hear, my first reaction was anger. How dare, how dare this person ask me things that is really none of their business? Of course, I wouldn't still ask anyone the way I was asked, but still, it created within me this anger. I could have said, smiled it and walked away without anger, but it's the first contact in one sense. And from there on, whenever we get instruction, there's always the first thing to say, let me think about it. So Ravana is thinking, looking at Hanumanji, Kim Esha? Who is he? Bhagavan Nandi Bhavet Syat? Bhavet Sakshad Ihagatah? Yena Shaptosmi Kailase Maya Sanchalite Puraha. So Ayam Vanara Murtis Tyaskim Sidvamano Mahasuraha. He says, Vanara Murti Syat Kim Svid, I'm sorry, Kim Svid Bano Maha Asuraha. Is he Nandi, the great carrier of Lord Shiva, who has personally come here in the form of this Vanara? Because I'm remembering the curse Nandi spoke upon me. Maya Kailase Sanchalita Pura. Previously, some time ago, I had gone to Kailasa. I'm very arrogant. I landed in Kailasa and I said, I want to meet Lord Shiva. Nandi, who's at the door, told me, sorry, you cannot enter. And Ravana became angry. Who are you to stop me? I am the great Ravana, and I have come to meet the great Lord Shiva. Who are you in between? And he heckled Nandi, saying, who are you who looks like a monkey interrupting me? Generally, when a person uh, who considers themselves religious, dharmic, pious, when they want to meet God, they don't like any medium in between. The medium usually is guru or a devotee. And the entire Ramayana tells us that without that intervening, the medium, one has no access to the Lord. But Ravana, hey, I'm a very great person. It's between me and God. Who are you in between? And hecklingly said, who are you, monkey? And Nandi became upset and said, oh, you're so arrogant. You think you are invincible? Then let me tell you, it is somebody in the form of monkey will come and be the cause of your destruction. So Ravana is remembering, Yena Shaptosmi Kailashe. In Kailasha, I was cursed by Nandi. Is this Nandi standing in front of me? And suddenly he remembered. Or he says, or is this Vanara who's standing in front of me is Banasura himself? Later, in the many multiple yugas later, Banasura has a fight with Krishna because Banasura's daughter falls in love with Aniruddha. And Krishna fights with Banasura. And Banasura is very strong. He is also a devotee of Lord Shiva. In fact, Lord Shiva enters the fighting arena and has a fight with Sri Krishna because he had given Banasura a promise that I will always be there to protect you. So Ravana is thinking, is this Banasura or is this Nandi? And Ravana is becoming frustrated, infuriated. Sa Raja Rosha Tamraksha Prahastitam Mantri Sattamam Kalayuktam Kalayuktam Uvacha Idam Vacho Avipulamartham. So Ravana, who's becoming very angry, irritatingly looked at Prahasta, who's Mantri Sattama, the best among advisors. And Ravana tells Prahasta, because you're a very wise person, use appropriate words and make sure that you interrogate this monkey. And Ravana just gives brief instructions. So, Kalam Yuktam Vachana Avipula Artham. So, short, not long explanations of just gave him short instructions. Ask him. And said, ask him what? So, Hanuman is standing right there. Hanumanji can hear, but Ravana is talking to Prahasta. Duratma Puruchatam Esha Kutah Kim va atra karanam vanabanghe cha ko asyatarthe rakshasinam cha tarjane. Ask this Duratma, this wicked fellow, why did he enter this Lanka? And why did he destroy this fantastic arrangement that I had made called Ashokavana? And why did he torment all the Rakshasis that are guarding that Ashoka garden? Ask this wicked fellow, Mat Purim, Mat Murim Apraghrityam Va Agamane Kim Prayojanam. Why did he come to Lanka? What's his purpose? What is the goal for which he has entered Lanka? Ayodhaneva Kim Karyam Pruchyatamesha Durmatihi. Durmati, wicked, or his mind is, as they say, Pagal ko pucho. Ask this fellow. Why has he entered Lanka? Why did he create such a ruckus and kill so many of my army people? Ravanasya vachas shrutva prahasto vakyam abravit. Shamasvasa hi bhadram te nabhihi karya tvaya kape. So Prahasta takes a different approach. Ravana is angry. Prahasta, who's very wise, says to Hanumanji, he says, Shamasvasihi, just don't worry. Trust me. Bhadramte. Everything will be auspicious for you. Nabhihi. Don't be scared. Tell me, what makes you or what made you come into Lanka? And he says, speak the truth. There is nothing for you to be afraid of. In fact, if you speak the truth, we will release you. यदि तावत् here, if you are uh, here sent by Indra, यदि तावत् त्वम् इंद्रेण प्रेषितो, did Indra inspire you? You've come here on behalf of Indra, Ravanalayam, to Ravana's place. Tatvam आख्याहि मा भूते bhayam vanara mokshase. Don't worry, I will release you from all fear if you speak to me the truth. Okay, if Indra has not sent you, yadi Vaishravanasya Tvam Yamasya Varunasya cha, or did the other Dikpalakas, Varuna, Yama, or Kubera, have they sent you? Charu Rupam idam krutva pravishto na purimamam. And you have entered this place with such a Charu Rupam idam, such a pleasing form. Are you here on behalf of the controllers of the directions? Or tell me, Vishnuna preshita vapi duto Vijaya Kankshina, or have you come on behalf of Lord Vishnu, thinking that you can conquer Ravana? So who sent you? Is it Vishnu, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, or Varuna, Yama, or Kubera? So Indra, Yama, Varuna, and Kubera are the four members who are called Dikpalakas. They govern the primary directions. He says, Nahi te vanaram tejo rupamatram tattvataha kathaya swadhya tato vanaram okshase. I can see that you look like a vanara, but the glow that you have is not that of a vanara. Monkeys generally are not so glowing. There is something special about you. Tell me the truth, and vanaro mokshase, I will release you. However, if you speak a lie, Andratam vadataschapi durlabham tava jivitim. But if you speak a lie, then I cannot help you. Your being alive, your life is at risk. Athava yannimittaste pravesho ravanalaya. Or tell me, what is the reason? Yannimitta, what is the cause that brings you into Lanka? Having spoken like this, Hanuman responded back. He looked, now interestingly, Ravana spoke to Prahasta, saying, ask this Durmati why he is here. So etiquette etiquette is that the king will speak to the king, the minister will speak to the minister. So since Hanuman has come as an ambassador, it's very clear he's not a king. Prahasta is asking a question or set of questions, and etiquette says Hanuman should answer Prahasta. Please let the king know I'm here for these reasons. But this is our hero Hanuman. Instead of responding to Prahasta, Hanuman looks straight at Ravana and answers him. So, a couple of things. One, Hanuman is fearless. He doesn't care. He's not afraid of Ravana the least. And it's breaking protocol to tell Ravana that I'm here to warn you. Eva mukto harishretastada raksho ganeshwaram abravin na asmi shakrasya yamasya varunasya cha. So abravin rakshaseshwaram, Hanuman spoke to Ravana. He says, na asmi shakrasya, I am not on behalf of Indra. Yamasya, nor Yamaraj. Varunasya va, or Varuna. Dhanadena na me sakhyam. I am not a friend of Varuna. Varuna's another name is, I'm sorry, Kubera's another name is Dhanadena, because he's the one who's the Lord of wealth. He's the protector of the universe's treasury. So he says, Name Sakhyam Vishnuna na asmi chodita. Nor have I been inspired by Vishnu to come here. Jatireva mama tvesha vanaroham yahagataha. He says, I'm only a vanara and I have come here. And the purpose of my coming is Darshane Rakshasendrasya Durlabhe Tadidam Maya. I have heard that having darshan of Ravana is durlabham. It's not easy. It's not easy to meet Ravana. I wanted to meet you. Vanam Rakshasarajasya darshanarthe vinashitam. And I reckoned that if I destroy your garden, it will make you so angry that you will somehow or the other want to see me. So I destroyed your garden. Tataste rakshasaha prapta balino yuddhakankshinah rakshanartham tu dehasya pratyuddhamaya rane. And so he says, because I was there, the Rakshasis came to attack me, or the other Rakshasas. Prapta balino yuddhakankshinah rakshasaha. So all of your army members came to attack me. And all I did is self-defense. Rakshanartham tu dehasya. I had to protect my body. In self-defense, I fought back. Ravana. Astrapashenar Astraparsherna Shakyoham Badhum Deva Surairapi. I am not able to be, or nobody has the ability to bind me with astras, with weapons. And this is not just in all of you. Even the Devatas don't have that ability. Not just that, Pitahamadesha Varo Mamapyesho Abhyupagataha. I have a boon given by Lord Brahma, and that nobody can win over me. Then he says, all I came because I want to see you. Even though your Rakshasas kicked me, punched me, said things, bound me with ropes, I could have easily broken all of that, but I came only to see you. And you're wondering, who am I? I am Dutoham iti Vigneyo Raghavasyam Amita Tejasaha Shruyatam Chapi Vachanam Mama Pathyamidam Prabho. Prabhu, O Ravana, the Lord that you are. Shruyatam, please listen, or may it be heard by you. Dutoham iti Vigneyo. You should know that I am a messenger of who? Raghavasya Amita Tejasaha. That Raghava, whose splendor, whose prowess, and whose power is Amita, has no limit, has no boundary. And therefore, and on his behalf, I have come to give you a message. Listen carefully, listen attentively. And that ends the chapter. Now I'm going to keep you as what's called a cliffhanger as to what Hanuman says to Ravana when we meet next time. I don't think I can do it this week. So let's see. Any questions, comments, thoughts? The first time Hanuman is speaking directly to Ravana, the fierceness that he has. But in all of this, his fear is not, his fearlessness is not from his own strength, because he keeps saying, Duto Ramasya Amita Tejasaha. It is Amita Tejasaha. It is from Ramachandra. Because I'm his messenger, I'm fearless. So anyone who repeats the message of the Supreme Lord has no fear. If fear is there, then it's an indicator that somewhere they are thinking about themselves, either as they are alone or they are on their own, and not as an instrument of the Lord. As soon as one thinks of oneself as a servant or instrument, it is said that it removes fear. Okay, open forum. Any comments, questions, thoughts?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Prithilakshan. Thank you very much for a nice class. There's
I
no
was just
question.
reading the verses. I was just reading the verses.
Just a
Yeah,
comment, Prabhuji. This when Ravana was inquiring from Hanuman, or at least he was thinking to himself who Hanuman could be, and he thinks of all his um, adversaries, so to speak, or all the people that he may have wronged and who could have come to venge or had a he was cross with. And nowhere does he think about Lord Rama at all. He does not even include him as probably someone who is fit to reclaim his wife or someone who could challenge him. So he doesn't even think that it's by Lord Rama.
in his mind, Ramachandra is just an ordinary human being. I don't even care for human beings. When I don't care for the great demigods, who's a human being? Not my category. It's like saying, I'm afraid of a mosquito. That's his thinking. Oh, who's Ramachandra? Who's a human being? But he remembers the curse of uh, Nandishwara, because Nandi is, after all, the carrier of Lord Shiva. That he remembers.
And here also this the strategy by Prahasta when he was talking to Hanuman, it was like typical good cop, bad cop strategy.
Yeah.
And when he was saying be fearless, Hanuman is actually demonstrating that he is fearless rather than saying, "Oh yeah, I'm fearless." He's
Yeah.
showing that he is indeed fearless by speaking directly to Ravana. Not only that, he's also telling him that I'm here. You may see me as bound, but I'm actually boundless by any missiles and weapons. It's just that I wanted to come see you. I thought this is the quickest and fastest way to approach you.
Yes. Yes. Good point. Very good point. Nice observation. He's expressing, when Prahasta said, be fearless, he's talking directly to Ravana. Because Prahasta said, be fearless, speak not truth, and I will spare your life. And he's indirectly telling Prahasta, I don't care for what you think you can do. When the Devatas cannot bind me, who are you? And so he speaks directly to Ravana.
Prabhuji, could you please comment on the tone with which Hanuman was speaking? Because it looks like the tone of Ravana and Prastha is pretty clear. Ravana was very angry and fuming, and Prastha was, although he's seething, he was trying to balance the situation and elicit the truth.
Uh, so his tone, Valmiki doesn't say, he just says, Abravid na asmi shakrasya. Eva mukto harisreshtastada rakshasho ganeshwaram abravid. So he's speaking because he himself is such an excellent speaker. He is speaking. So someone may speak out of anxiety and say, "No, no, no, I'm not this. I'm not. Please believe me. It's not like that." He is cool as a cucumber. He says, "I'm not come here on behalf of Indra." It's a very cool speech. Okay. He just says, Vanaro aham ihagatah. I'm just a Vanara and I've come here on my own. So he's speaking at a very simple, fearless tone. He's not like he's showing off, but his tone is very simple, straightforward. I came here to see you. I came to Lanka to see you. So it's not fearful, nor is he boastful. He's just speaking in a straightforward tone. And it is changing in the sense he's not being arrogant. He's saying, I have Lord Brahma's blessings, so I'm fearless. So you see, when someone is fearless, they just speak coolly as if there's no anxiety about anything. That's how we understand. He's just speaking coolly.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much. My humble obeisances.
Yes, my friend.
As usual, very nice lecture. I had a small query rather.
Yeah.
Ravana, we know that means Ravana as a character, it is depicted that he has taken away from the path of dharma. But when he is remember Nandikeshwara's curse, and when he is trying to visit the Lord, and it is me and the God is what he feels, and for that, if Nandikeshwara has to get angry and curse, does why do this? Why people get into the mode of curse? What does it depict?
So Nandi, he was standing guard, and Ravana insults Nandi. That who are you? You look like a monkey. How dare you? Now this curse is Nandi who has to teach this uh, raging mind how to curb himself. And so sometimes curses are given as a way, it's a rude awakening. And the rude awakening helps the person, in this case Ravana, be careful how they are stepping. Same with Vali. For what he had done, his arrogance of fighting with Dunduvi was such that Matanga Rishi pronounced a curse, such to put Vali within a boundary. So that when they're in a boundary, then they're more behaved. It is either you tell someone nicely and they follow, or you have to put strong boundaries. That's how the law works. That's number one. Second, uh, speaking dharmically, if one were to insult the very medium by which one can access the Supreme Lord, then the access goes away. It becomes very difficult. Therefore, the opposite is what is focused on in Vaishnava philosophy, that more than the Supreme Lord, one should be respectful, worshipping, and very careful with those medium or media, the devotees who are our connection to the Supreme Lord. Just this morning, I was listening to King Kulashekara speaking, praying in the Mukunda Mala Stotra, and he was saying, "Oh, Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, please consider me the servant of your servant of the servant of your servant." So seven layers away. Please consider me, because if you do see me like that, the servant of the servant of the servant, then I consider that my life is successful. Majjan bana phalamidam. That my life will have achieved its greatest fruit when I'm the servant of your servant, and he gives the whole list. Because it is those persons through which one experiences the Supreme Lord. So the curse, not ordinary people, people like Nandi here, or Narada Muni, or the great Brahmanas, they curse as a way to protect the very person against doing something that is damaging for themselves. It's called boundaries. They put the person in a boundary. It is not out of misguided anger or uncontrolled anger. It is to help that person be. Because they have to learn that I cannot disrespect Nandi, who's the carrier. So in other way, philosophically speaking, the guru is the carrier of the mantra, or the sound vibration is the carrier of the mantra of the Supreme Lord. If we disrespect, or not if Ravana disrespected the very vessel, then how can you get the contents? So if you have to carry water from one place to another, then you have to carry the vessel carefully. You can't disregard the vessel. It's a teaching. It's an important teaching. If one wants to see some object, you can't keep the eyeglasses dirty or broken or lost somewhere. You can't see things. So that clear, focused vision is possible because of the medium. Medium is as important, perhaps more important. We'll talk about a little about Vaishnava Aparadh for a moment. In the Ramayana, we are taught the great the greatly negative outcome of offending a devotee. While offending the Supreme Lord may not carry so much of a negative reaction. So, Sita Devi, who represents the Jiva, when she wants to come to the forest with Ramachandra, Ramachandra in many ways says no. So finally, she pleads, she requests, she demands, she makes logical arguments. None of it works. Then she says something very strong and she says, okay, if you are not going to take me, my father, your father-in-law, will think of you as not a man. He will think you're a woman. Striya Purusha Vigraham, that you're a woman in the form of a man, which means, as they say in Hindi, na mardigi. You're not a man, you're not man enough. That's a strong insult. And immediately Ramachandra says, come. And they live together for 13 years. Later, when the golden deer comes in the picture, and you know the story, we've spoken in detail, Sita Devi says some really strong words to Lakshmana. And as soon as Lakshmana turns away, Sita is abducted by Ravana. So for the offense made to the Lord, still she had the company of the Supreme Lord for 13 years. But for the offense made to Lakshmana, instantly she lost the company of Ramachandra, she lost the company of Lakshmana, and guess what? She didn't even get the very deer that she wanted. And instead, she was sitting, captured, incarcerated in Ravana's Lanka. That's the great detriment of offending a Vaishnava, or the medium through which the Supreme Lord is connected to us, or we are connected to him. Therefore, the curse as a way of putting Ravana in a box. Okay, Kavita Mataji?
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nicely, very logically explained. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
You're welcome.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay, Haribol.
In the beginning of the chapter, Ravana is called as Loka Ravana, and he's doubting how come I'm not able to instill fear in Hanuman. And his security lies in causing fear to everybody. But interestingly, at the end, Hanuman addresses that and says, I'm not afraid of you. So I want to understand what kind of people get security by instilling fear in others' hearts. and in contrast with Hanuman, a devotee. Can you speak more?
Well, yeah, Ravana has the arrogance that he has great abilities. He has 10 heads, which means he thinks himself more intelligent than anybody that he has ever come across. And he has 20 arms. That means he's stronger than anyone. Although he has been defeated by Vali, which is coming in the next chapter. He's been defeated by Vali, but he doesn't take it too seriously because he's made friendship with Vali. So instead of now being antagonized by Vali, he has made strategic alliance with Vali. So his strength has grown. For such a person who believes in their own physical strength or their mental or intellectual strength, they think they have no match. Now, add to it is Ravana has this, because of his strength and the richness, he took away Kubera's kingdom, he took away Kubera's Pushpaka Vimana, and by which he has so much wealth. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri, Edamana, Madha Puman. Mother, Kunti Devi says he becomes mad. The madness here is the arrogance. Janma, I am the great grandson of Lord Brahma, the grandson of Pulastya Rishi. I come from such a wonderful lineage. Janma, Aishwarya. The god of wealth has been kicked out by me, although he's my own half brother or step brother. I kicked him out. Now I am the Lord. Shruta, I'm very well learned. I've learned so much. I know everything. Shri, he's so handsome. He thinks he's so handsome. Even Hanuman says, wow. And by which he thinks, I have no obstacles. I can get anything I want. That is the nature of Kama. And Loka Ravana means his selfishness, his desire is so strong that even if it means at the cost of putting pain to someone else, that they will cry, I don't care. The opposite is that, and so Ravana is fearless. He's fearless because of his own strength and abilities and his resources. The opposite is Hanumanji. He's also fearless, who's actually stronger, perhaps even stronger than Ravana. But Hanuman never says, I am stronger, therefore I am like this. He says, Duto Ramasya Amita Tejasaha. His strength and his entire confidence comes because he feels that he is a tiny servant of the Supreme Lord. That's the real strength. That my strength is today's there and gone tomorrow. The body is there today, gone tomorrow. Intelligence, if at all, is there today, gone tomorrow. But what is consistent is the presence of the Lord. He is called Satya Parakrama. Satya means eternally existing. There's no change. Ramachandra was very strong when he was a young boy. He's very strong now. He will be very strong when he's 11,000 years old and taking care of the kingdom. It never changing. I draw strength from that. And that's my confidence. In Ravana's case, it's arrogance and overconfidence. In Hanumanji's case, is confidence from Ramachandra's strength. That's what, and that is called a Sharana. One Sharanagata is one who's at the feet of such a person. So very different. So when Hanuman meets someone, they don't cry. In fact, their crying stops, their fear goes away, their problems go away. Because he's bringing Ramachandra's auspiciousness to the lives of people. Ravana is different. Ravana takes, Hanuman gives. Ravana takes away from people anything and everything he likes. Hanuman gives anything and everything that he likes to them, and that is Sri Ramachandra. Different. Lust or selfishness takes. Service is an attitude of giving. He's giving other people the strength, the confidence. Vali and Ravana take away other people's strength and confidence. So he's Loka Ravana. Is that okay?
Thank you.
Nilima?
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Dheera Lalita Prabhu.
Oh, you know my voice. Prabhu, one question. Just I was trying to reflect. Just now you mentioned about Ravana that he's Loka Ravana and he feels secure by instilling fear in others.
Mhm.
So when we go back to our offices, in our, especially in our IT culture, and we see the senior or senior most leaders, when I see them, I attend their meetings. So I see the people who are reportees, uh, they are in very kind of a fearful mode in many of the meetings. And even this man, the top guy, also, he's always kind of a shouting and the same. I can draw the same parallels. He's making himself secure by instilling fear in others.
Mm.
So, uh, how do we tackle, like, if we have the such person on top? I know you're given the example of Hanumanji, but how do we reflect in our own practical, or how do we implement this in our own practical life when there's such office culture is there, and I find myself among the situation in that situation.
When people are fearful, um, it's from insecurity that they will lose what they have if they don't kowtow to such and such person. So such persons see this angry boss or whoever as their master. And that master is the one who's determining their fate of whether they have a job or no, whether they get a promotion or no. This thinking puts a person in an insecure position because that person, the boss or bosses, are whimsical. Their senses are not controlled. As practicing devotees, we see that this person or that CEO or whoever, my actual boss is Sri Ramachandra, Sri Krishna, or Narsingadev, my Ishta Devata. He is the real boss. And when that real boss is pleased, none of these little intermediate bosses matter. That confidence one needs to develop every day as one is walking into the office. That I'm walking in here. If I think I'm the servant of this department or this one, then I'm already placing myself uh, in a place or on a platform that is shaking. I am actually a servant of the Supreme Lord, and it is Supreme Lord who's protecting me. He is the one who's giving me the salary, the benefits, everything is coming from him. And that is true because he's the one who's maintaining everyone.
Did also?
And I am being maintained by such a person, and that is my Supreme Lord, and therefore I'm fearless. Because if he takes me out of this situation, he will plant me somewhere else, or whatever ways he wants to protect. And on a day-to-day basis, yes, we may forget, but we are given these scriptures, we are given the sound vibration to quickly recalibrate ourselves. That if the Supreme Lord's presence in my life, I'm not afraid. I should not be afraid. So so as we work, we don't become arrogant. Oh, who are you to tell me? No, we do our duties honestly, truthfully, and dharmically. Means we don't cheat, we don't cut corners. We do the right way. After that, Sri Ramachandra Sharanam Mama. Okay, Dheera Lalita Prabhu.
Perfect, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Very nice.
Hare Krishna.
Hey, Haribol.
I was going to tell you, you should share what Maharaj, in one of your first meetings, you met him. This was what his instruction was, Remember? You were working for AC Nielsen.
Yeah, yeah. I was I got 2 prayers that every day I would walk from the parking lot to my desk. The parking lot for that prayer was Shri Nitai Nadia Bihari, I'm your servant. And I'm going there because bhakti means Hrishikena, Hrishikesha Sevanam. I have these senses, I have mind, some intelligence, some ability, and I have to use this in your service. And this is the service because by this service, this is the medium by which I express my seva to you. And this is the medium by which you maintain me by salary and all of things that comes with it. But you are my real boss. I have to remind myself, you are my real boss. And something my spiritual master told me is, as grahasthas, you can enter places that a sannyasi cannot enter. And you can meet people which otherwise a sannyasi cannot meet. So be representative of Krishna and the parampara by your behavior, by your character. Be kind to people, be loving, be supporting, do your things. All that I told you, Dhira Lalita Prabhu, it's not my words. Do it in such a way that somehow or the other, at whatever level possible, your colleagues, your bosses, the people there have some contact with Krishna in whatever form, be it prasadam, your behavior, the help that you give. Because if they appreciate you, unknowingly, they're appreciating the parampara and Sri Krishna. So be that instrument. Go there with that intention. And for me, there were so many times because whatever is the circumstance, every time there was a threat that, oh, my job was at risk. I had to recalibrate that. After all, my supreme boss is Sri Krishna, Nitai Nadia Bihari, my Guru Maharaj's instructions. My bosses got replaced. Not one. 8 bosses changed and nothing happened to my job. And when I had to take on a new service as my spiritual master's request, then my job got changed and I got something even better that facilitated what I needed to do as seva. So ultimately, Krishna's hand is the prime mover. Kishore, Kishori, they move things. And we are just little pawns on the board that are moved forward for our benefit. They take care of us. I still have that conviction that every day I have this conviction that my deities, they take care of us again and again and again in different ways, but they are. And my spiritual master is because they're not my deities. It is because my spiritual master somehow, in what said to them, this little fellow, small jiva, please take care of him. He's trying to offer some service, he and his family. Please take care of them. And he's taking care of us, and that's how life has been. I generally don't speak so personal. Thank you. Hemangi prompted, I shared, but that's where it comes from.
Yes, true. Thank you. It was very much reasonable. Thank you so much. It directly came from your heart. I could make out that. Hare Krishna.
I'm generally a little bit more private. So
Yeah, but you also forgot to tell not only the 8 bosses changed, but also all the colleagues, right, left, right, center, everybody got fired. Only you were left. And Maharaj said, Krishna is your ultimate boss.
yeah.
And he's protecting your job. I will say.
Okay, I got to run to work. We're going to stop here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.